Hey there, my friends. I got YouTube and LinkedIn waiting for StreamYard to connect into my free Facebook group. There we go. Awesome sauce. You know how the tech works. Thanks to Mark Zuckerberg's changes.
Oh, yes.
So fun.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. But I found a workaround. Let's see. Where are my comments? One sec. There we go. All right, cool. I'm so excited for this. All right, my friends. Happy Friday Eve day. I'm going to kick us off with my official Happy Friday Eve day greeting. You guys know how I do things around here. Every Thursday at 11:30, I'm here live to bring you some awesome information and training that will help you grow your business. I've got StreamYard going so that I can be live in many different places, my free Facebook group, LinkedIn, my YouTube channel. And if you're listening to the podcast, this is how we get the podcast audio. Isn't it magical? All right, today I have my friend Darcy Sauers here with me. You guys, I love bringing you real conversations with people that are building businesses their way, and Darcy is the real deal. Her jam is helping maternal health professionals build freedom-filled businesses that feel, get this, that feel as good as they function. How does that sound? And she is going to spill the tea on how she has built her business around her life and how she helps other people do the same. I'm so excited. But first, just in case we are brand new to each other and you're wondering who the heck I am Tracy Beavers. I'm an award-winning business and sales coach with over 20 years of experience in marketing, sales, and business growth. And about 7 years ago, I just became completely disenchanted with my corporate career, which I never thought was going to happen. And I hatched a plan to exit. And I want to share with you that once I did, in my second full year of working this business intentionally as a business coach, I busted through the six-figure ceiling and I have not looked back. And I share that with you because if you are sitting in a cubicle and you are miserable and you are looking for something else to do, if I can do it, you can do it too. Or maybe you've already ditched the cubicle and you are wondering, when is my income train going to arrive? Well, let me just tell you, I'm living proof that if you are patient and consistent in building your business, it will happen. You can build a business just like I have and just like Darcy has. I teach all organic visibility and list growth strategies. And I've coached hundreds of entrepreneurs over the years to get massively visible so you can grow that email list, have those consistent leads coming in to get to that consistent monthly income that you want. And the strategies that I teach you are fresh and they get your list growth happening automatically every day in the background of your business without paid ads or creating yet another free lead magnet. All right, my friends. Let me just hop in and introduce Darcy. Oh, don't forget, pop your questions and comments into the chat as we go. We're going to check those at the end. If you're coming to us on replay or you're listening on the podcast and you have a question for me or for Darcy, go ahead and DM me, DM Darcy, ask us. I mean, we're totally open books and she has such a big heart for serving other people. I'm speaking for her, but I don't think she would mind me saying.
Please do.
Okay, good. Whew. I realized I was like, oh, DM Darcy anytime. And you might be going, what in the world are you getting me into?
Oh, no, I love it.
Cool. I figured you did. All right. I want to introduce her the proper way. Darcy Sauers is a business and mindset coach known as the doula for your business. How cool is that? She helps maternal health professionals, as I mentioned, build freedom-filled businesses that feel good to run. And she's got over 15 years of experience in the doula world. And before that, a decade-long background in marketing and advertising. So she really knows what she's doing when it comes to attracting your ideal clients. And so she helps these maternal health professionals scale their businesses in ways that can be sustained, which is really key. She likes to blend real world marketing strategy, you know I love that, with mindset support and down-to-earth business coaching, you know I love that. And her mission is to help you build a business that supports your life, not one that takes over your life, because I've been there and I've felt that and it doesn't feel good. I love when she says, there's no epidural for entrepreneurship, but there is support, strategy, and community. Love it. All right. These businesses, they have to be built to support us. And otherwise, it's not fun or sustainable. All right. And I always love a fun fact about our guests. Darcy, do you want to share your fun fact? Because I think it's really awesome.
I was like, fun fact, what am I going to say? And yes, so I turned 50 back in August of last year, and I decided to throw myself a Saturday Night Live themed birthday party. And it was the best. So everybody, and I sent the invites out way in advance. So everybody marked their calendar, and everybody had to come dressed as their favorite Saturday Night Live character. And my friends showed up, and I had childhood friends, college friends, my mom friends, my business coach came. Like, it was epic. And I dressed as the Sally O'Malley lady in red, who's like, I'm not one of those ladies who's afraid to say her name. I'm 50. And
you did the kick?
I did the kick. I'll show you the pic. I can kick high. So it was so much fun.
I love Sally O'Malley, y'all. She's the one who's got her britches up to her armpit.
Oh, yes, with the little purse.
With a little purse. And she's like, I can kick, punch, and kick. I'm 50.
Yeah, I'm 50.
I love it. That is so funny. So Darcy and I were talking about this before we hopped on live. And so my favorite character that I would have dressed as is one that Bill Hader does. Bill Hader's character called Stefan from Weekend Update. He's got the tattoo sleeves on, and he always goes like this because everything is said in a very quiet way. It's the TP of secrets or whatever he calls it. And then also, I think he's trying not to laugh behind his little fingers. So anyway, that was my favorite. And fun fact, Bill Hader is from Tulsa, where I went to college. I went to Tulsa University, and the guy who wrote that set is John Mulaney, one of our favorite comedians. So I had so much fun with this SNL thing. I just thought it was great.
Well, what I didn't realize was SNL was also turning 50 that same year. So SNL was like in the news, and it was really neat to see, like, even no matter what age people were. Like, my parents came and they were Coneheads, because they
I love that.
But then, like, my kids knew different SNL people and characters, and so we didn't have any Bill Haders as Stefan come. There was a lot of Wayne's World. A lot of Sally O'Malley, the Christian Catholic schoolgirl.
Oh yeah, Mary Catherine Gallagher.
Yes,
and when she gets nervous, she goes.
So and we had a lot of the cheerleaders who were Will Ferrell and Sherry O'Terry. And a lot of cowbell.
With the hairy bellies because of the half shirt. My God, that's so funny.
So it was a good party. Highly recommend throwing yourself an SNL party.
I love it. I love it so much. All right, let's get serious for a second. But because I could talk to you all day. Tell us about your business. Tell us a little bit more. I sort of skimmed the surface on it, but I would love for everybody to know, like, and you could even dial it back to the marketing career thing. Kind of give us the whole who's Doula Darcy and what are you doing?
My business now is completely online, and I can work from anywhere. I have location freedom because it's a totally online business, and I'm helping more people than I ever helped as a one doula. But it all started back in my cubicle in my first advertising agency job out of college. College is great. You think you're so busy and so stressed out, but like you have a class in the morning, then you have a 2-hour break, and you have lunch with your friends, and you sit outside, and then you go to another class, and So my first 9-to-5 job, I remember so vividly. Sitting in my cubicle that was in a basement. I had no windows, and it was fun, but I had 5 days of vacation a year.
Oh God.
That summer, for some reason, it rained every weekend, and then it was sunny and nice. And I live in New Hampshire, so we have winter, and summer is our time. And it was sunny during the week, and then it rained every weekend. And I remember so vividly sitting in my cubicle, and I was like, I can't do this.
The
next 50 years.
Not without at least one window. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. But I just thought, I worked so hard in high school and college, and I got good grades, and I did all the clubs, and I was like, wait a minute. And now this is what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
show up. The other thing I hated was like I would finish my work, but still just had to sit there till the clock struck
Oh, I
5.
know. Is that not the dumbest thing ever? It's so dumb. Yeah. No, I'm
And
totally with you.
so, and I remember even, I mean, so this was like 1996,
Yeah.
97. There were barely even laptops. I remember that our office had a rooftop deck, and I was like, I wish I could at least like go work outside in the sun, but I can't. I'm
Yeah.
chained to this computer here in the basement. And I
Oh,
really feel like that is what lit a fire in me to somehow figure out
yeah.
how to not let that end up being my life.
Yeah. And
And
so how did you land on becoming a doula?
so I worked in various advertising and marketing cubicles for 10
Mhm.
years, and I did like it. It was fun. I was a media director, media buyer, so I got a lot of free concert tickets, and I
Yeah.
worked in Manhattan and New Jersey for a while. I was going to Broadway shows. Like I was like, this is a great life, yeah.
Right.
And I had now 2 weeks of vacation a year, so I was like, this is great. But then I had a baby.
Yes.
And long story short, like C-section, kind of traumatic birth, and readmitted to the hospital afterwards with a
Yeah.
infection. Like I was sick, and then trying
Oh.
to raise a baby, take care of a baby and figure it all out. And
Mhm.
I struggled.
Yeah.
And started to become obsessed with like, no one told me
Oh my
this.
gosh. Yeah, right. Yes. I know. I know.
I was like, "What?" And again, I was like, it was also the very first time in my life I didn't do well at something. I had done
Mm.
well in school, I had done well in
Mhm.
sports, I had done well
Mhm.
in my advertising jobs, and
Yep.
then being a mom, and all that, like I could have cared less, but
Right.
I really wanted to be a good mom. I love my little baby so much, and I
Yeah.
felt like I was failing her
Oh,
every step of
man.
the way.
So hard.
And so I became obsessed with like, my mom would be like, "Oh, I ran into Joanne's mother. Do you remember her from 3rd grade? And she's having a baby." And I'd be like, "Let's go find Joanne on Facebook and let me tell her what she's in for."
My God.
And actually at the time I quit my marketing job in a panic. 2 weeks before I was supposed to go back, because I just
Yeah.
what I now know is I had postpartum depression and anxiety,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
and I was having visions of dropping my daughter at daycare and her
Mm.
dying because no one could take care of her. Anyway, so I quit my job in an absolute panic. My husband was like, "You're burning a bridge. Like you're never going to go back there." And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't care." So anyway, I waitressed for a while, and then I got a job, like nap time hustle. I was working a couple hours in the afternoon for
Uh-huh.
this blogging platform called Zanga that was very popular in like 2004,
Yeah.
2005. So that's where I learned all my online marketing
Yeah.
and stuff, and blogging. They were like the cutting edge of blogging back then.
Yeah.
And I was obsessed with finding blogs about motherhood and writing about motherhood. And
Yeah.
I was just running around the internet being everybody's postpartum doula without realizing that was a thing. And
Yeah.
then I read a blog about postpartum doulas. And I was like,
Wow.
oh my God, this is a job. And then the universe just like exploded. A training opened up in Boston
Yeah.
nearby. I got trained. I was already a yoga teacher, so I took a training to be a prenatal yoga teacher. There was my
Wow.
pipeline of clients. I had this marketing background, and like bing bam boom, I had a successful, thriving postpartum doula business, and I loved it. And I thought,
Wow.
I have such freedom because I could by this time I had had 2 more babies, and by the
Yeah.
time I started my doula business, they were kind of all in school, or, so I could schedule like mom hours, and
Yeah. Nice.
so did that for, well, 10 years, and then started to talk to doulas all around the world,
Yeah.
and realizing they were really struggling to get clients,
Uh-huh.
and were reaching a point of like having to take other jobs, and not be a doula.
Right.
And it came down to they didn't know how to market their services. And so I was
Right.
like, I can help. I'm helping one mom at a time.
Yeah.
as a postpartum doula, but if I can help these doulas get more clients, I'm helping the world get more birth doula and postpartum doula support. And so that's when I started as a doula business coach. And now I'm just like, wait a minute, this is not limited to doulas. I can help anybody.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so one of the questions I always love to ask people when they're telling me their story and they've decided to go work for themselves is, what did your family say? So it sounds like your husband was not like completely surprised, but he was also concerned that, you know, you were burning a bridge. So like, was everybody kind of on board with it, or?
He was on board. He was like, "Yeah, if this is what you want to do, like, I'll support you." But he was like, he was kind of like, I remember him so vividly saying, "You're burning a bridge."
Yeah.
But, you know, side story, the CEO of that company that I was working for at the time, I mean, I was terrified. Like, this is not something I would ever have done before this, to like not give notice. But the CEO of the company sent me an email and he's like, "I'm really sorry to hear this. We're sorry to lose you as an employee. You're a great employee." He said, "But this is a decision you're never going to regret."
Oh, wow. Well, that's nice.
It was really nice. I saved that email and like hung it on my wall for a long time, because I was like,
that's
it's
really
true.
nice. Yeah. So I always love to talk about the big challenges that we have, because I don't think there's enough honest discussion about how there are some aspects of building an online business that are easier than building like a brick and mortar, obviously, because we don't have a building, we don't have employees, we don't have inventory, cash registers, all that jazz.
Right.
But we do have some things we've got to jump the shark on. So what do you remember? What was one of the biggest challenges you faced and how did you navigate it?
My biggest challenge, I think, starting my like in-person doula business and then starting to go online and, you know, start a business. Well, first of all, no one knew what a postpartum doula was back in 2010.
Yeah.
And then when I was like, "Hey, I'm a doula business coach now," like no one knew.
Right.
And, you know, there definitely were friends and family in my life that were like, "What, you know, what are you doing?" But I
still
so
get that.
imposter syndrome was my biggest challenge. Like, who am I to quit a corporate marketing gig and open up this little doula business where I go to people's houses and help them after they have a baby? Like, what is that? What even is that? So, and then starting an online business, you know, people are like, "What are you doing?" So even my mom still is, she's like, "So what, like, you don't have to leave the house? What? You just,
I know.
everything's on the computer?" And I'm like, "Yep." But for me, I have to continually have like these stern conversations with myself. And I say to my clients all the time, like, your passion has to override your fear.
I love that. Say that again.
Your passion for whatever it is you want to do, the life you want to build, has to override your fear of putting yourself out there. So I told myself as a little baby doula, you know, you've got to go into these Chamber of Commerce networking nights and shake everybody's hand and tell them what you do. Like I'm not going to, and at that point for me, being a postpartum doula, I was like healing myself as much as I was healing the clients I had. So if I found this way, I loved that work so much. I still do. And when I would get paid, I was like, I would literally pay to come over here and help you.
I love that.
I just, Darcy, if this is what you want to do, if you want to have this business where you're getting paid to do something you absolutely love, like you have to make a website. You've got to post on social media multiple times a week. You have to go to these Chamber of Commerce meetings.
Right.
And
it sounded like you had to do a lot of education also, because people didn't understand what a postpartum doula was.
Exactly.
And, you know, I face that here in Arkansas. We're a little slow on the trend. Other states get things before we do. And so when I started this business, I didn't realize that business coaching was a thing. Some of the gals I was with in a women's mastermind, they were like, "Yeah, that's a thing." And I was like, "Really?" But still, I go through the same thing you do. I have family members every single holiday, a gathering or family gathering. somebody will say, and it's usually the same person, "So, who do you work for now? What do you
Yeah.
do?" And I'm like, "Oh my God. Okay, I work for myself and I help people build businesses all over the world." And you know what I mean? It's just like if I had to, I don't know. Sometimes I just want to go, I'm just retired, just hanging out.
I know, but do you on the other hand, though, do you have people that are like, "Hey, I wanna pick your brain, Tracy, like, I see what
Yeah,
you're doing." Because now
I do.
I
I do.
travel all over the
Mhm.
place.
Yeah.
I'll run my business from Florida in the winter for
Yeah.
a week. I went
Mhm.
skiing this year in Utah for a week, and,
Yep.
it's, my joke in my town. All my mom friends are like, "Well, I wanna be a doula. You make it
Yeah.
look good," and I'm like, "Well, you
Love those
know,
snarky
I
comments. I know.
I."
Yeah, no, I do. I was recently out, my husband and I were out for dinner and ran into some friends, and it was a guy that I had known back when I was in the mortgage lending,
Mhm.
arena. And, we were talking about what I'm doing, and he goes, "Wow." He goes, "Tell me more about that." And I was like, "Well, you could do it too if you wanna teach mortgage lenders how to close more sales." You know? And he was like,
Yeah,
"Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's a thing."
yeah,
So yeah, there are some people that get it. And, also recently I sat down with a girlfriend I've known for a very long time, also from the real estate industry, and she has a new, director position with a brokerage, and she also, owns a, boutique hotel. And so we were just talking about the things that I'm doing and, uh, ways that she could, why she needs an email list, what, how Canva and, all the tools we use. And she was like, "Oh my God, my mind is blown." And I was like, "This is so much fun." So yeah, I do, run into people that actually want to know in a genuine way
yeah,
what I'm doing.
yeah.
So, tell us, um, what is there anything you wish you had known before you started this online business? Like, was there anything that really just shocked the crap out of you?
That it is. I mean, it's not easy, but it's easy. Like,
Okay.
and that anyone can do it. You have to have the
Mhm.
passion, but,
Right.
for a long time, I was like, "Well, I live in New Hampshire." You if you're gonna have a successful online business, you have to be in LA or New York,
Right, right,
and you have to have the, beautiful clothes and,
right.
and I'm just here, like, I don't wear makeup. You know, I have sweatpants on.
I love it. I like that we don't have to wear pants with
Me
buttons like my
too,
friend
that is
Sasha
a
calls it.
dream.
I
God, that I
know.
don't have to get dressed every day.
I know. Just from here up,
Yeah,
from the
just
Zoom
I
square.
I call it the
This is it.
mullet.
Yeah. And I
Business
don't have you don't have to fix the back of your hair either because
Right,
nobody sees it.
yeah, business on top, comfy on bottom.
Comfy on the bottom. Yes, you should see the bright yellow, almost croc looking shoes that I have that I wear around the house with my black socks and the yoga skirt. Yes, I look
Yes.
fabulous.
Love it.
Fabulous.
I have striped pants and pineapple socks on,
Love it. So funny.
and
So, okay, so you help people build, let's talk about the part that probably brought everybody here. And I
Mhm.
know this is a question we really didn't talk much about, but how give me a couple of tips on how we can get control of this thing so that we can build in a way that feels authentic to us. It's still going to be work. It's still going to be sometimes hard work. It's still going to feel overwhelming. But how do you help people craft a business that ends up serving them, not the other way around?
By diving deep on their passions.
Uh-huh.
And that's my first question to all my coaching clients. Like, what is the topic? What is the hill that you will die on that you
Mhm.
can talk endlessly about?
Right.
And then I just have this brain that is like, okay, well, hey, here's a business. Here's $1 million business plan of what you could do with that. So if you're tapped into your passion that
Mhm.
you will never get bored of helping people with,
Mhm.
and then you're also just looking at your strengths and,
Mhm.
everything from like, are you a morning person to a late night owl?
Right.
I built my entire business from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. during the COVID shutdown because my kids didn't have to go to school. And I'm a
Mhm.
incredibly morning person.
Yeah.
So I like having that 4-hour, and I've just kept that going since COVID. Like
Yeah.
that's when I work, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. And
Mhm.
so just playing to your own strengths. And
Love
are
that.
you, would you, I think there's so much, especially now, so many like cookie cutter strategies. Like, here's my
Yeah.
roadmap. Here's how I
Yep.
built the 7 figures. And
Yep.
that's great for them, but it's not necessarily going to work for you. So
Yeah.
you have to figure out, and this is why coaching is so valuable. You
Mhm.
have to figure out what will work for you. Like maybe it's,
Exactly.
is it a podcast or is it a YouTube channel? Is it
Right.
Instagram or is it Facebook? And I know
Right.
you're a big proponent of like find one place and go
Yeah.
all in on that. I
Yeah.
completely
Sure.
agree. To
Because
me,
it's not necessary to be on every single platform all the time. It's not. The only reason why I'm on Instagram right now is because I have an assistant that puts me there.
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be there, and I wasn't on LinkedIn. When I hit an over 6-figure a year in my second full year of business, I was only on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not have a massive following. You do
Yeah.
not have to have a massive following or a massive list or a massive anything. So I
Right.
love what you're saying.
Yeah. And I also like, it's funny because I'm all in on Instagram, and I love Instagram.
Yeah.
I talk to so many of my clients that are like, "Oh, I hate putting my face on social media. I'm like, this is part of the mindset thing I'm talking
Exactly.
about. Well, what would be fun for you?
Yeah.
You're passionate about this subject that you're helping people. Where do you want to just go talk about it all the time? Maybe it's
Right.
not Instagram, but for me, it is. I think it's fun. Like I open Instagram, I'm like, "Ooh,
Mhm.
yay. I get to, chat with Tracy. I get to connect with potential clients. I get to
Yeah.
like share the pictures from my SNL birthday party."
So
It's when your marketing is just fun and
Mhm.
a conversation with
Mhm.
people, you're
Yeah.
going to do it more. When your marketing is, I have to post on LinkedIn 5 times and
Mhm.
Instagram 3 and
Mhm.
do this many lives on Mondays,
Mhm.
and it's just like, oh, and actually for some people that is what makes it doable. They need that
Yeah.
strict schedule. For
Correct.
me, no. Like that. Well, I think 10 years in a corporate advertising
Yeah.
role, oh, I wake up every day and I'm like, "What do I feel like doing today? What
Yeah.
do I wanna talk about? What do my people need?"
Yeah. And
And
I think that's really smart, but I'm like you, I'm a mix of you and me because
yeah,
like, I do need that schedule in
yeah,
order to stay organized and make sure that I don't lose my consistency.
yes,
But then I also will have days where I'm like, "This feels good. Let's do this."
yeah,
And so I do that, and then it's because it's authentic, my energy is right. So I love what you're saying because you're like, first of all, I love what you said about we do not have to follow some 7-figure earner with a roadmap and a cookie cutter strategy because I'm tired of my students feeling like if they don't follow this exact thing,
yeah,
they're not going to be successful. When that thing, what they need to do is take what's given to them and then tweak it like like you and I do for them. It's
right,
like,
and then
let's figure out what part of this feels good to you and do you want to do and how many hours do you want to work and what kind of income do you want to make? Because we don't all want to make 6 figures and that's okay.
exactly, so that it comes back to, like, what do you want your life to be like? Do you want your life to be like that 7-figure bro marketing guy that
Ugh,
only
yeah.
has time to go live when he's driving in traffic? Like, ew.
Yeah. In his Lamborghini.
Yeah, like, I don't want that. Like,
No.
I want to, I take a walk in the woods every day, and I go to yoga Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning. Like, that's I do a lot of work with talking to people of like, what is your version of
Yes.
success? Like, what is
Yes.
success?
Yes. Yes,
It
because it's not all money.
right.
Yeah.
What if you just, the fact that I don't work in a cubicle anymore,
Right.
the
Yes.
fact that I take a vacation whenever the heck I want because I can run if I can
Yeah.
work 2 hours in the morning and then goof off the rest of the day in Utah, like, yes, please. And and actually I just hosted a retreat for some of the people in my membership, and one of the women, we were talking about like where are you getting stuck, what's holding you back right
Yeah.
now, and she was like, I just really thought I'd be further along than I
Yeah.
am right now. And I
Yeah.
was like, Are you crazy? You have, and I just listed off. I'm like, you're a doula and you're doing your dream and you have a date night with your husband every Friday. I know her so well because she's been in my program for a while. And I just and I was like, you feed the birds every morning. I see your Instagram story. You share like what birds are coming in the feeder. What more do you want? And she was like, I don't know.
No, I love that because she probably hasn't taken the time to actually reflect on all of the things that you shared with her.
And she was like looking at me, like I have passive income and I'm doing all this. And I was like, maybe I'm like, and she hates social media. She's not the kind of person. I'm like, do you even want what I have or do? And she was like, I really don't. I'm like, can you pay all your bills? Can you do all the things you want to do? And she was like, oh yeah. And I'm like, and you have a job that you love, that you don't dread going. So I think we tend to look at these successful people. And first of all, they're only showing you the Instagram worthy parts of their life.
Exactly.
And even that, like, do you really want that?
Well, the other thing is that we're not seeing their profit and loss statement.
True.
It's like, okay, cool. You made, let's say you made $500,000 last year. That's awesome. But my question is, how much of that did you get to take home?
Yes.
Because if, it could be that we're making the same amount of money. Depending on your profit margin versus mine. And I love what you're saying because success means something different to every single person. And when I first started this, I was like, oh, I'm going to be the next big name and I'm going to have a team of 20 people and I'm going to make $1 gazillion. And then I don't know, maybe it's my age. I hit 55 and I'm like, screw that. I just want to make great money so that I can do the home projects I want to do and not have to take money out of our savings or investments to do it. I want to be able to travel with the family. And if I want to take all of us on a trip, which we did last year, I want to be able to do that. And, like take good care of my mom because my dad passed 1.5 years ago and John's dad passed last year. And I mean, it's like what you're saying. And I get to go out and walk the dog almost every day. And I don't have to leave the house, which is glorious. The kids tease me. They're like, Mom, you never leave the house. I'm like, I know. And I drive a 2011 Honda Accord that has maybe 130,000 miles on it. I will never own another car because there's no reason to.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm totally with you. I love what you're saying.
And I love what you're saying too, because I did the same thing when I, started this online business. I was like sold on the freedom that comes. And I was like, oh, okay. And, I started to have a little success and I was like, okay, the next step is that team of 20. And, but like you said, like, you had a 6-figure launch, but how much of that did you have to pay out to your team?
Yes. Or in ads.
Right. And I'm over here like just me, myself, and I always joke, like my team is the woman I hired to clean my house.
Yeah, me too.
I get a massage every month.
Me too.
I pay my kids to do a few little things in my biz.
Yep.
And like every once in a while I have to hire a freelancer for some little thing. But like again, having a team just reeks of the corporate and no shade on anyone that has a team, but I don't want one. I don't want to have a Monday team meeting every week. I don't want to have, I have a podcast and I know people that are like, well, if I don't get the thing to my team by Thursday, like the podcast isn't going to go out. I'm like, nope. That would take all the fun out of the podcast. I record my podcast when I'm in the mood and then I post it when it's like, if I had a team that it's not even responsible for. If I had a team that I had to answer to, then
it would kind of suck the fun out of it.
Yeah. I want to, cause some days so my ultimate thing of success is that now if it rains on a Saturday, I will work all day. If I'm in the mood and I have nothing going on with my kids, like I'll just work all day. I love my business. I always say like my business is my best friend. I love hanging out with her on a rainy Saturday.
Yes.
And then, so Tuesday, if the sun is out
Yeah.
and I don't have a team, I just go to the beach or
Yeah.
take a walk or sit in my yard or,
Yeah.
and I think it goes back to what I said at the beginning, little 21-year-old me in the cubicle
Yeah.
on a sunny Monday thinking,
Oh,
I can't do this my
uh-uh.
whole life. And so I don't know, I'm really proud of
Yeah.
her. Like, she made it happen.
Yeah, I
So,
love it.
and
Well, okay, so I know we need to wrap this up. Otherwise you and I could be here all day because I
yeah.
love talking to you. Tell us what is on the horizon for your business in the next 3 to 6 months.
In the next 3 to 6 months, I am I'm actually like decluttering my business and trimming it down, and focusing just on. I have a membership and I do one-on-one coaching,
Yeah.
and those are the people I want to hang out with. And so I'm just kind of going all in on what I'm already doing. I'm not adding anything new. I'm opening up my one-on-one coaching to, beyond. Right now it's mostly doulas and sleep
Right.
consultants and midwives and lactation consultants, but opening it up to anyone who
Yeah.
wants to build a business that supports their life,
I love it.
and but yeah, just kind of and cutting out the noise. I think this was a
Mhm.
whole other podcast episode, but I think Chat
Mhm.
GPT is really just flooding the internet with cookie cutter stuff, and
Yeah.
I'm just going to be over here high kicking and throwing myself parties and talking authentically to the people I want to talk to.
Yeah. There is a ton of yes, we could have a whole nother discussion about that.
Yeah.
There's a ton of noise. There's a ton of crap marketing. There's a ton of overinflated marketing.
Yeah.
It's just, there's a lot of that.
And it's just robots, and no one wants that.
Right.
And also for me, again, I live in New Hampshire, so summer is the next 3 to 6 months, and that means I'm gonna go outside and hike, and so my business always kind of dials back a little bit
I love that.
in the summer. So
You have got a super cool freebie for everybody. You want to tell them about your quiz? I just popped the link to it in the comments over in the Facebook group.
Oh, yes. So it's, I'm all about being the doula for your business. So it's a quiz to find out what trimester your business is in, first,
That is
second,
so
third,
fun.
or fourth. And then depending on the results that you get some personalized tips because the way you're going to market your business is different depending on where you're at. And I truly believe, like, when it comes down to building a business that fits this dream life and your version of success, it's the quality of your marketing that is going to contribute to the quality of your life. You could have the best product, business, service in the world. If people don't know about it, they're not going to buy it, and you're not going to get to live the life you want to live.
Yeah, no, I am with you. The marketing makes all of the difference for sure. We've got some super fun comments from the group. Sheila is here, and she said she would have dressed as the church lady. I forgot about church lady. It's so funny. Jan said the quote, "My business is my best friend, and I love hanging out with her." She loved that. I do too, because that's how I feel, and then I feel guilty for saying it, but I'm so glad I heard you say it. Now I feel a lot better about it.
Well, I have nights where I'm like, everybody in town's like, "Oh, let's go have dinner here." And I'm like, kind of want to stay home and rewrite that page on my website. That would be more fun.
Yeah,
for
for
me.
sure. No, totally get it. I totally get it. And Georgia is in the house, and she just said, "Thank you very much for this discussion," which I absolutely love. All right, my friends, I could talk to Darcy all day, so we need to land the plane. Here's what I want you to do now. If you are not already a member of my free Facebook group, I want you to join us. It's called Be a Confident Entrepreneur, Get Visible, Grow Your Email List and Your Income. And I have a ton of free resources in that group, lots of live trainings to teach you the marketing, the sales, the mindset that you need to grow a business that you love. So DM me for the link, or podcast listeners, it will be in the show notes as well. well. Just come join everybody. You can promote your offers anytime. We have about 3,800 right now online entrepreneurs in the group. It's a beautiful, beautiful community. You can also find the link for the group on my Facebook personal profile cover photo. Be here live with me every Thursday at 11:30. I want you to put it on your Google Calendar, set a phone alarm. Next week, I am bringing you the incomparable Tasha Smith, who is a whiz with sales. We're going to have an amazing discussion about sales, so you're not going to want to miss it. And the biggest thing I want you to hear today is what I say every single week. You're probably tired of me saying it, but it's so important. Just remember to don't try to go it alone, because being an entrepreneur is freaking hard. Some days everybody wants to buy what you're selling, and other days nobody can remember our name and our phone's not ringing and nothing's in our inbox, and you feel like you are alone in that, and you're not. You are not. And that is where getting into a community like my free Facebook group, a community of support, makes all the difference. I want you to have a great balance of the week and weekend. And Darcy, thank you so much for being here. Is there anything that you want to share with everybody before we go?
Just thank you for having me. It's always great to talk to you, Tracy. And I mentioned that I love hanging out on Instagram. So if you heard this, shoot me a DM on Instagram and let me know that you heard this episode.
I love that. All right. Thanks so much. You guys remember, when one of us rises, we all rise. So that is why we have got to keep cheering each other on. And I will see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Thanks, Darcy.